I don't know, I needed an intro. I feel like it's been a long time since I sat down and filmed a vlog, and it's because I work a lot, but like, this is like a hobby, and I would hope it would one day be easier to make time for my hobbies, but it's just not. So it's been a while. But I'm back now, and it is literally the day before Halloween, so my whole house is Halloween puke, and my front porch is Halloween puke, and my nails. Stop looking at my face. Also Halloween puke, but they would probably still be Halloween puke if it wasn't Halloween season. But we're not working on a Halloween look today. We are working on hopefully December. I might make it January's, but December's original character. I want to say cosplays, but I have a hard time calling original characters cosplay, even though I put just as much work into them. We're doing like an ice fairy? Ice fairy. We're doing an ice fairy in an appropriate way. I am going to be using cellophane and wire. I don't have spray adhesive at this very moment, so I can't show you just like the little montage of all my products, but they will be listed in my bio below and where I found them, because like I said, I don't have the spray adhesive yet, so I'm gonna have to anywho, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut to me doing it in an appropriate way. Stop. I'm going over my general game plan for this OC or cosplay, and then I'll go over the product list, so stay tuned for that. Basically, I want to draw out a stencil or a pattern onto a piece of cardboard and then trace the outline with my jewelry wire, bending it into shape as I go. After that, the plan is to lay down a sheet of cellophane, place the wings on it, and spray it all down with spray adhesive before setting down another sheet of cellophane. Then I will smooth it out to the best of my ability, trim off all the extra material that I can, tighten it all up with my heat gun, and then, trim and repeat. If you just needed the basic outline for how to make fairy wings, that's the general idea right there. As for products, I used scrap cardboard for the original stencil, 12 gauge jewelry wire, and cellophane, both of which of those I got from Joann's, spray adhesive. I found the Elmer's brand at Fred Meyer's. I honestly am just really bad at finding products that I need half the time. I'm sure you can find that anywhere. As for tools, I used scissors, my heat gun, and I used needle nose pliers as well as wire cutters, because I don't know, I just have like a toolbox full of random tools. It's what I had. It's what we're working with. Towards the end of this project, I realized I'm also going to need an outfit to wear with this wings, so I used chiffon fabric O-rings and my trusty sewing machine to make the quick outfit I wore with them. As far as recording goes, I did not record me working on the first wing, as I tried to figure out a technique that would work for me. That was actually for the best, because as you saw a few moments ago, my first wing did not end up matching the stencil I created very closely at all. But I still liked it, so I went with it. It's no issue at all. Instead, I'm now going to use the first wing as a stencil for the second wing, so they are more similar, instead of hoping for the same exact results twice, trying to use the cardboard stencil I made at the beginning. Honestly, bending the jewelry wire is tricky, and I did not watch a single jewelry making tutorial before starting this project, because I am for some reason against preparing fully for my projects. It is an issue I need to work on. What I found worked best for me was a mixture of gently bending the wire into the shape that I wanted and then tightening it with the pliers. The pliers tended to bite into the wire, break it, bend it, kind of just make it look gnarly. When I started the project, I knew I did not have all the materials, but I was not aware that I did not even have enough wire to finish the skeleton. This gave me an excuse to go to Joann's though, so I'm not complaining, and I picked up the rest of the things I needed to finish the look while I was out, and then didn't return to the project for several weeks. As you do. When I did return, it was with a vengeance. I pumped everything out in 2 days. I learned how to make the centers of the spirals look super neat by spinning the pliers in the center, as I am doing right now in the videos, and a couple of other tricks while I was rewrapping the wire for the skeleton and just overall trying to finish the wings. I cut out most of the footage I recorded because it was super repetitive, just like sewing. I simply measure out the wire, snip it, bend it into the shape to the best of my ability, and attach it to the main skeleton, wrapping everything, trying to make sure that there's nothing pokey sticking out that's going to cut through the cellophane later. Then I attach the wings together later using more wire and adding some O-rings so that the ribbon I attach to my waist or tie it around my waist with can actually, go onto the wings. I actually really like how the frame looks without any cellophane on it personally, but the wire is super easy to bend, so I need to give it some sort of general protection. As for attaching the cellophane, it was actually super easy. I just didn't realize the rolls of colored cellophane came with so much less material than the clear rolls. I bought a clear roll for backgrounds and it literally came with double the material. So I had to use scrap material and redo parts of the different sides of the wings to make sure everything was fully covered. Okay, so assume that you actually have enough material. Super simple, right? Just lay down a piece of your cellophane, place your skeleton on it, spray down with adhesive, and then place more cellophane on top to cover both sides completely. Smooth it out to the best of your ability while you're double checking everything is completely covered in cellophane, and then you trim off the excess, right? Super simple, super easy. I think that would have been super easy if I had trimmed everything around the edge of the wings down to like a quarter of an inch or less. But I did it kind of haphazardly, and for I think it was about half an inch, honestly, maybe even more in some parts. So it didn't heat down perfectly on my first try when I pulled out the heat gun. I really do think about a quarter of an inch to an eighth of an inch might have yielded the best results. But once again, I didn't watch any tutorials because I don't believe in preparation for some reason. So there's a lot of time where I spent trimming it down a little more and heating it, then trimming it down and heating it, and then trimming it down and then heating it. I tried turning up the heat on the gun once, and then I promptly melted a hole into one of the wings that I ended up having to cover with more cellophane and spray adhesive. So, yeah, be careful. Heat guns can be very cruel sometimes. Then it's just about adding the finishing touches. I had to pull out and add some more wire for the ribbon holder slash O-ring and wire thing. But overall, it came out pretty good. It was a fun project. The wire bending was honestly the hardest part, but I really enjoyed it. I really like how the detail looks through the translucent. I really like the color of cellophane I picked out. I really like how the wire looks through the cellophane though, so I'm glad I went ahead and did all of that. I did cut out a lot of the sewing because honestly, who wants to just watch a needle stab a fabric a bunch? If you guys want me to keep that content in, even though it's really repetitive, I'm sure I could come up with stuff to talk about, but otherwise, I'm just going to cut out what I think is kind of irrelevant. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied with the project, and it was one of the few that didn't make my bank account want to cry, so thank you. Thank you. Thank you for everybody that supports the projects that don't cost $1 million to make. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch through the whole video. It means the world to me. At the end, there will be a couple of pictures of the finished product, what I think YouTube will let me post, but honestly, the outfit is a little skimpy, so I can't really share much of it on here, but you can follow my social medias for that if you want. If you want to get access to the content I create with this look and others as well as helping fund the time and expenses it takes to make them, join my Patreon. A special shout out to Darth, who sits alone in my biggest fans tier this month, and thank you everybody who supports me and my art.